The big story at 5, former Milwaukee police officer Christopher Manney will not get his job back. The Fire and Police Commission upheld Chief Flynn's decision to fire him following the shooting death of Dontre Hamilton. However, Manney could appeal that decision to circuit court.
The Milwaukee Police Union plans to hold a news conference at 6 p.m.
Now, earlier today, Chief Flynn talked about the decision to uphold Manney's firing.
Julia Fellow is live with more on that story. Julia.
That's right. That just happened a short time ago. Milwaukee Police Chief Ed Flynn thanked the Fire and Police Commissioners for unanimously supporting his decision to fire Christopher Manney. He also responded to the fact that the Milwaukee Police Association is about to hold that press conference 1 hour from now, calling the commissioner's decision a travesty.
I have supported them in those uses of deadly force because the facts supported them. But their decisions leading up to that use of deadly force were also within policy. And we have to be willing to take responsibility for our decisions. And the cops know it. So I don't doubt that there'll be some grieving. I don't doubt there's going to be some commiserating.
And during cross-examination of Phase 2 yesterday, when Chief Ed Flynn was on the stand, he said and testified that he has never before discharged an officer for the policy violations that Christopher Manney was charged with. Mayor Tom Barrett also held a news conference today and called Chief Ed Flynn's decision gutsy.
What we witnessed was a decision by the police chief. I think a very gutsy decision by the police chief.
And upheld by the Fire and Police Commission last night, that after 5 days of waiting brought Dontre Hamilton's family to tears.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Hamilton family attorney John Safran cautioned it may not be over. He says Manney has the option to file an appeal to circuit court.
I would anticipate he would. At this point, he really doesn't have much to lose.
Before the final decision, Christopher Manney testified for a second time and made this final statement.
I know that when I was on that stand, you guys looked at me. I think you know I'm a man of honesty. And if you feel I violated a rule, I understand that. But I ask that you do not terminate me. I want to be a cop. It's who I am. I've helped people my whole life, and that career shows ever since I was 17. And that's what I ask of you.
Chief Flynn also testified again last night and said he had no other choice but to fire Manney.
What would I do with an officer who had engaged in this level of incompetence? What is a role that officer could play in the police department in which I could take safely the risk that the employee would never be this incompetent again, having been incompetent enough to make decisions that resulted in this tragic outcome.
John Safran says the Hamilton family is relieved by the outcome, but dismayed over Manney's demeanor while testifying.
Not once did he seem to express any sympathy to the family for what they've gone through, any remorse.
And I also asked John Safran over the phone if the Hamilton family will soon file litigation of their own. He says they're still waiting for multiple investigations, include that of the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office. Once they know those outcomes, then they will decide. I have much more from Chief Flynn's news conference. We'll have more coming up tonight at 6. Reporting live downtown, Julia Fellow, today's TMJ4.
And we'll also hear from the police union at 6 as well. Thanks, Julia.